the opportunity for the healing in relationships, because especially if a student isn't necessarily doing something over here the way their caregiver or parent wants them to actually see them in another space.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be the first time that that child or student sees their parent cheering for them
Mm-hmm.
or applauding for them.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment rewrites a relationship
Mm-hmm.
narrative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is such good stuff.
I can think right now in my head times where I have flashes of my mom or dad in my head, my memory, when I pan out as a kid at that, assembly or that graduation or that thing, and I was a part of something demonstrative, how they responded. I can see my mom's face right now. I can see my dad jumping up and cheering, my grandmom. And that's the energy we want when we allow for young people to be in the arts, because we can put on plays, we can put on recitals, we can put on concerts, we can have exhibits for artwork and creative writing, space to share what you've learned in your culinary class, space to share what you've learned in your media arts class or your martial arts class and martial arts presentations. And you can have your parents and loved ones right there. It will stick with you, sticks with all of us.
Yeah. I recognize that this conversation sounds amazing, and it sounds like, oh, this just makes so much sense. We should all just be doing this. But I'm going to lean in that is it all like Yellow Brick Road? Just leaning in a little bit.
Nah, because we got to fight. We got to fight with these bureaucracies. We have to fight. I'm fighting right now. I'm fighting right now for money. That's owed to us. We got systems that we have to go through, and something that's supposed to take 30 days, take 90 days, 100 days to get your payment, to get your funding, to find new grant makers and help support, even in contractual relationships with school systems that have interesting rules, right? And as we said earlier, some of those ideals and written policies aren't always supportive of young people getting the best or supporting them, as you said earlier, well. So that's where the tough part is always that for a small arts education nonprofit. But then the other piece is also, as the late great Frankie Beverly would say, the joy and pain, the sunshine and rain. And my joy and pain is, I told you earlier, my joy was the people. My pain, the people too. My pain is the people too. It's the same thing.
Tell the whole truth. Tell the whole truth.
The ones that you care for bring you so much pain. And so that's what Frankie said. So that's the thing it's those same people we just said, the superintendents and the decision makers and the parents and our staff and the school staff and the now you have to balance that love. Now that's where you got to do the soul work, come back in again. Are we doing what we say we want to do? Are we finding the good in people? Are we finding a place of commonality and agreement? Can we find ways to work through challenges and find solutions? And can we also do it by being high beam turned on to arts-centered focus and ensuring that every young person has equitable access to the arts, and make that paramount over any other challenge that we might be experiencing?
But that in and of itself is an actual invaluable life lesson for young people. As you're speaking about the hurdles, the ups, the downs, the obstacles, I literally can also see a young person be inspired by Dr. Brunson never gave up on us, and I can't give up on me. Like you literally give them the living example of endurance, perseverance, which if you're going to learn anything in life, is that there are going to constantly be obstacles. And you're living that example for them. And if there's anything that has people vulnerable, it's the arts. And so having the courage to stick to it, and somebody might reject you and you got to get back up. But you're modeling that for them.
Doing our best, by the grace of God, it's one foot in front of the other, really. But yes, it is that. It is a lot of that because we don't want to give up. We don't give up on children. First, that's the first thing. One of my mentors, Al would say that. We don't give up on children. And so that's the first thing. Let's just get that out the way.
Yes. Period.
Period.
As my 25-year-old tells me, Mom, period.
Period.
Okay.
That's it. We're not giving up on young people. What are we talking about?
Right.
So we have to have perseverance. We have to show. So we're teaching, really, we're selling young people joy and righteousness and peace and perseverance and resilience and temperance and long suffering. We're selling all of that through the arts. And it's packaged in a leadership foundation, right? It's the arts essentially helps you to become better leaders.
So how do you define leadership, though, for you?
Leadership is not a title; it's a way of life.
Yeah,
it's how it's anything you're leading in. And people think, and actually, the thing that I hate the most is probably the idea of titles and the pressure and the responsibility and all the things people don't realize when you're the CEO, when you're the top dog, right? When you're the principal, when you're they don't realize it. They be like, I want to be like Dr. V.
Until.
And right. And then they got to figure out the stuff when everyone else is sleeping, you up still figuring it out. Yeah. So that part let me understand as a younger person in my teens and 20s early. And again, thank God for, the leaders and mentors in my life, my parents, my grandparents and their family and friends. And again, my mentors from church and the community. And they helped me see early, super duper early, that leadership was not about the title. You have to be all the way in because it's not just if you have a business or if you are a leader of a movement or a church or anything, of a family. All of those are leadership roles.
Yes.
There's a role, but whether you're, a parent or a president, right? You're a leader even in your social circle. You're a leader in your community. Yeah. Simple thing that if you don't like the fact that you see trash out, why don't you go up there and pick it up? Don't walk by something and not be concerned. Yeah. Right? Just small things that we don't really keep into the equation we take for granted is that. So for us, that's what we try to teach our staff and train our folks so that we can impact young people is it's not about your title. It's about your relationship. Life is about relationships, not title. Right? It's about relationship and decisions and the decisions we make about relationships. That's what life's about. Yeah. That's it. Right?